My name is Daniel Harper. I own a 1,800-acre ranch just outside Cedar Ridge, Colorado. The land has been in my family for over 70 years, and every property line has been legally surveyed and documented. Next to my ranch is Pine Ridge Estates, a neighborhood controlled by a very strict HOA. For years, their board tried to tell me how to manage my own land, even though I was never part of the association. And leading that HOA was Karen Mitchell. Karen loved power. She constantly handed out violation notices to homeowners over tiny things like mailbox colors or grass that was too tall. But because my ranch wasn't in the HOA, I always ignored her demands. One full morning, after spending 3 weeks visiting my daughter, I drove back to my ranch expecting everything to be peaceful. Instead, I slammed on my brakes. Parked beside my fishing pond was a massive luxury RV. It wasn't just parked. Someone had built a patio, set up lawn chairs, flower pots, solar lights, and even a barbecue grill. It looked like a permanent campsite. As I stepped out to my truck, the RV door opened. Karen walked out with a huge smile. "Oh, you're finally back," she said. I stared at her. "What exactly are you doing on my property?" She folded her arms. "This isn't your property anymore." For a second, I honestly thought she was joking. She wasn't. Karen proudly explained that the HOA had expanded its recreation area and claimed this section of land now belonged to the neighborhood. I asked one simple question. Did the county approve that? She laughed. "We don't need county approval. Our HOA survey shows this belongs to us." I smiled. "Karen, you've just made a very expensive mistake." Instead of arguing, I drove away and immediately called my attorney, the county survey office, and the sheriff. The next morning, county surveyors arrived with professional GPS equipment. Karen stood beside her RV, completely confident. She even pointed toward the pond and said, "Everything east of these trees belongs to the HOA. The surveyor entered the coordinates into his equipment. A few moments later, he looked directly at Karen. Your RV is approximately 340 feet inside Mr. Harper's private property." Karen shook her head. "Your equipment must be wrong." The surveyor smiled. "It costs more than your RV." Then Karen proudly handed over what she called proof. The surveyor looked at the papers and frowned. "This isn't an official county survey." Karen replied, "Our HOA architectural committee redrew the neighborhood maps." Everyone stood there in complete silence. The sheriff's deputy finally spoke. "You cannot redraw property lines and claim someone else's land." Karen refused to move. The deputy issued her a trespassing notice and gave her 24 hours to remove the RV. She tore the notice in half. Big mistake. The following afternoon, the RV was still there. This time, the sheriff returned with a heavy-duty towing company. Karen started yelling, threatening lawsuits, and live-streaming everything. But then the tow truck operator made an unexpected discovery. Karen had poured concrete around the RV's leveling jacks to make it permanent. The deputy looked at her and asked, "You poured concrete onto land that isn't yours." Karen's smile disappeared. "The damage to my property was extensive. The concrete ruined underground irrigation lines, damaged the soil, and destroyed part of the drainage system. Repair costs were estimated at more than $85,000. My attorney immediately filed a lawsuit against both Karen and the HOA. During the court case, something unbelievable came to light. Months earlier, the HOA board had voted to expand their recreation area. But instead of buying land, they simply instructed their committee to redraw the neighborhood map. No purchase, no legal deed, no county approval. They honestly believed changing lines on paper meant they owned more land. The judge couldn't believe it. He asked Karen, "Did you truly think drawing new boundaries transferred ownership?" She answered, "Yes." That single word changed everything. The court ruled completely in my favor. Karen was held personally responsible for trespassing and property damage. The HOA was ordered to pay legal fees, restoration costs, and additional penalties. Their insurance refused to cover the claim because the board knowingly acted outside its authority. Homeowners were forced to pay massive special assessments to cover the losses. Many of them blamed Karen for wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars over land that never belonged to the HOA. Karen resigned from the board shortly afterward and eventually sold her home. As for my ranch, the damaged land was restored, and today there's a small bronze plaque near the pond. It reads, "Property lines are determined by deeds, not opinions." Because no matter how confident someone sounds, no matter how many rules they think they can invent, ownership isn't decided by an HOA. It's decided by the law.